David hit the nail on the head. This was an absolute hoax, and I dubbed it the ARCCA hoax. No defense member, and this was about before I was on the mostly about before trial 2. So I wasn't, of course, on trial 1. It was a hoax, and what the Commonwealth, and particularly Attorney Brennan, tried to do was to get ARCCA knocked off. He realized the threat that they were, and from the jump, he tried to get them knocked off. Now he would say, "Oh, I'm not looking to get ARCCA knocked off. Oh, if they just turn over the discovery, I'll be okay." Every time we did whatever it is he said, he still kept coming back trying to get them knocked off. It was a hoax, and unfortunately, the judge bought the hoax, issued a sanction based on a hoax, but the judge never stated what it was that the defense did wrong, right? She just said, "I find there to be a violation, and I find it intentional," never stating what the violation was, because there was no violation. So it was a sword of Damocles that was held over the defense's head. We still won, and we still ended up putting ARCCA on the stand. The last part, Martin, I think it's important to identify 2 parts of ARCCA. David's identified part 1, that which they produced in their February of 2024 report, which the defense had nothing to do with. However, the ARCCA did have sort of the part 2, which was their new testing. And Judge Cannoni did require that there be disclosure of communications that would cover that new testing. So certainly got into work product. I've never seen that happen in my career. The good news is there wasn't much communication because it was fairly in its nascent stages. But it was something that in the end, in addition to it being a hoax, turned out to be gaslighting, because we learned that actually all that happened between the Commonwealth and Aperture, where they were changing their testimony in the middle of the trial, when there were communications with the Commonwealth's prosecutors, when the Commonwealth said there wasn't, this was a surprise to me, right? And said it was a surprise we got Burgess's report on May 8th, when in fact, Burgess testified that he let them know and had a conversation with the prosecution on May 7th that it was coming. Not one mention of a grave concern or one mention about that conduct. However, in the end, we just look at it as we got to work harder, we got to work smarter. I said it was like a golf handicap. The prosecution may end up with a +2, they may end up with a +18 handicap. We still got to win the tournament, and we did.